to Be My Own Boss podcast. I'm your host, Mike Hruby. This is episode 58, and our title is Trouble in Trenton. Let's dig in. New Jersey's Commissioner of Labor and Workforce Development is in a jam. His name is Robert Asaro-Angelo, and I call him Mr. Bob for short because it saves a bunch of syllables. His Department of Labor in May issued a horrible new regulation designed exclusively to screw independent contractors and put them out of work. He has developed a terrible version of the ABC test. But whoops, it overreached. Mr. Bob grabbed for too much with his super strict definitions of the three prongs. Now Mr. Bob faces a bipartisan coalition of legislators that want him to not issue his new regulation. His legislators are fighting alongside hotly engaged independent contractors as an interest group, along with other businesses. Hearings are being held, and press releases are flying around, and articles are being circulated, and the hornets are buzzing. Now, normally a guy'd look to his boss for self-protection, but Mr. Bob's boss is the term-limited governor of New Jersey, Phil Murphy, and Phil Murphy's up for can't follow himself. He's not up for re-election. There are two new candidates. So Murphy is just going to let Mr. Bob take the stings for him. And Mr. Bob's title, with the ending in workforce development, adds a kind of ironic touch that really attracts people's attention. New Jersey's workforce is 4.6 million people. Pretty solid. 30% of them, 1.7 million people, and their family members who are also affected, depend on contracting for part or all of their income. So Mr. Bob probably didn't think about the impact of the word workforce development in his job title, because his plan destroys at least a third of that workforce. The brightest part of New Jersey's labor picture is independent contracting, self-employment. It works well in the new project-oriented environment. The largest largest businesses in New Jersey are biotech, pharmaceuticals, IT, and chemical specialties. And Mr. Bob is about to bankrupt 1/3 of the workforce that serves these companies. If the bosses aren't furious already, they will be furious. So what's a workforce development commissioner going to do? Mr. Bob cannot safely go forward. Mr. Bob cannot safely go back. If he moves in line with his long-term loyalty to organized labor and goes ahead and shafts independent contractors, both large and small businesses are going to be hurt, and they are going to be enraged. This is a winning coalition in all the English-speaking countries. If small and large business get together on an issue, they can sway elections. Now, if Mr. Bob frees up independent contractors as the freelancers wish, his union allies who put him in position are going to turn on him like wolves. This is a very unappealing position for Mr. Bob to be in. And Mr. Bob, I'm sure, has no idea what he's going to do. You and I, though, can, with great benefit, speculate on what he might do and then try to learn lessons from it. Because when business owners like you and me speculate on a political situation we can't control and try to understand it, analyze it, we learn, and we learn a lot. For example, Mr. Bob could stall for time. Now you think, well, why that? That's not a victory and it's not defeat. Well, that's fine. Mr. Bob controls the clock. He's the Commissioner of Labor and Workforce Development. He can act when he wishes, and if it's too hot now, maybe he just withdraws the regulation for a time being. And maybe he tells everybody it'll be temporary, but we'll fix it. He adds little cutesy phrases. We'll reconsider all this brand new information and this most interesting points of view. He could then make it much more complicated, harder to read, and much worse. So he would get a double payoff, and the rest of us get nothing. That sort of retaliatory regulation goes on in other blue states too. Mr. Bob could also have, during his time off period, could have an allied nonprofit that aligns with the unions and with the Democrats, make up a new research with new facts and fake facts, and he could then bring those as cover to say, look at what this backs up a lot of what I already said, and use that as cover to go ahead and put it through anyway when the hubbub has died down. So stalling, that's probably his most likely approach. But he could also look westward to California and say, let's try the AB5 solution. We will just we'll carve out all the pain in the butt industries and occupations that have a lot of money and a lot of clout and know their way around Trenton, and we'll carve them out. So they'll all go home, and then we'll be faced with much weaker opposition. And in the meantime, those guys will have paid a lot of money in campaign contributions, euphemism, to the legislators to hear their opinion. So certain occupations and certain industries would be carved out. This is always a good labor law solution, to temporize and come back and get the rest later. Or Mr. Bob could try the Massachusetts solution, is you just carve in an industry that you really want and let everybody else go. It's more of this two-tier justice. You would grab, for instance, truck drivers and ride-share drivers and food delivery drivers and some of occupations that are not well represented, like the labor unions always mention janitors, but there aren't nearly enough of them. But anyway, carve them in, bring them in, and just another two-tier justice. Or he could try to, Mr. Bob could also try another Massachusetts innovation. New Jersey has ballot questions, so he could put this regulation in a ballot question, make it nice and complicated and juicy and sound good and feels right, and give that to the voters for 2028, and let the voters make the bad policy. Sure, it's easy to do. Finally, Mr. Bob might simply co-opt his worst adversaries. In this case, it's probably journalists and PR professionals, hoping to weaken his opposition. And it would certainly cut a great deal of the volume out of the debate. Maybe Mr. Bob thinks he could sneak by in that way. Finally, one alternative that Mr. Bob is not going to do, wager on it, is acknowledge defeat and stop crushing self-employers. That's just never going to happen. Now, why should busy independent contractors like you and me speculate like this? Because we need to figure out how well we understand our opponents, and we need to get better at it. And if we could all try to anticipate what this machine is that turns lies into laws, we can eventually win our independence with superior tactics and strategy. Mr. Bob and his huge alliance of anti-independent contractors are going to keep trying to defeat us until they are defeated themselves. Our opponents never sleep. They haven't slept on this issue in 87 years. We must be alert and ready and willing to defend our self-employment. They are in the business of turning their lies into laws against us. Only we can stop them. Thank you. I hope you've enjoyed this quick look. Please like this episode, follow us on the Be My Own Boss podcast, and subscribe so that we can send you the alerts ahead of time. Put your comments down below. I'll be glad to answer any questions or suggestions that you have. For now, so long. See you next episode.